Welcome to Little English Studio, where English learning meets inspiring life stories. Here, we tell powerful journeys in clear and simple English, so you can improve your English while discovering lessons of success, struggle, and hope. Today, we bring you the story of Anthony D. Romero, the son of Puerto Rican immigrants who grew up in the Bronx and rose to become the first Latino Executive Director of the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU. From poverty to Princeton, from law school to the front lines of America's biggest fights for freedom, Romero's life shows the power of courage, justice, and never giving up. Anthony Romero was born in 1965 in New York City. His parents were Puerto Rican immigrants who came to the United States searching for a better life. They settled in the Bronx, one of the toughest neighborhoods in New York. Life was not easy. His family lived in public housing projects, surrounded by poverty, crime, and daily struggles. Growing up, Anthony understood what it meant to be poor, to be Latino, and to be judged by where you came from. But he also understood hard work. His parents always told him, education is the way out. As a boy, Anthony loved books. He spent hours in the library. He studied hard even when others doubted him. He believed that knowledge could be his path to freedom. In high school, Anthony worked harder than ever. He dreamed of going to college, not just any college, but one of the best. Many people told him it was impossible. Kids from the Bronx don't go to Ivy League schools, they said, but Anthony refused to listen. He applied to Princeton University. To his surprise, he was accepted. It was a turning point in his life. At Princeton, Anthony studied public affairs and fell in love with the idea of justice and human rights. He saw how law and policy could change lives. He realized that he wanted to dedicate his life to helping others, especially the poor, the marginalized, and the voiceless. After Princeton, Anthony continued his studies at Stanford Law School. There he trained to become a lawyer. But he was not like many other law students. While others dreamed of working in big firms and making lots of money, Anthony dreamed of fighting for justice. At Stanford, he learned the tools of the law, how to argue, how to write, how to defend. But more importantly, he learned how to use the law as a weapon for fairness. He wanted to become a defender of rights, not a servant of power. After law school, Anthony joined non-profit organizations focused on social justice. He worked on issues of poverty, equality, and immigrant rights. He built a reputation as someone who cared deeply and worked tirelessly. In 2001, his life changed forever. At just 36 years old, Anthony Romero was chosen as the executive director of the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union. This was historic. He became the first Latino and the first openly gay man to lead the ACLU. The ACLU is one of the most powerful organizations in America, founded in 1920, dedicated to defending individual rights, freedom of speech, privacy, equality, and justice. To lead it was an honor and a heavy responsibility. Just days after Romero became director, the world changed. On September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks struck New York and Washington. America was shaken. In the weeks that followed, the U.S. government passed new laws to fight terrorism. These laws gave the government more power to watch people, listen to their calls, track their movements, and even detain them without trial. Many people accepted these laws because they were afraid. But Romero and the ACLU stood firm. They warned, in the name of security, we must not destroy freedom. This was not easy. Romero and the ACLU were called unpatriotic, even traitors. But Romero never backed down. He believed that true patriotism meant defending the Constitution, even in times of fear. Throughout his leadership, Romero made the ACLU a champion of minority rights. He defended immigrants against unfair deportations. He fought for Muslims and Arab Americans who faced discrimination after 9/11. He supported African Americans in cases of racial profiling and police violence. He stood with LGBTQ+ people, fighting for marriage equality long before it was popular. Romero himself, as an openly gay man, knew what discrimination felt like. This gave him strength and empathy. One of Romero's proudest achievements was leading the fight for LGBTQ+ rights. Under his leadership, the ACLU helped win historic victories, including the Supreme Court case that legalized same-sex marriage in 2015. He often said, "The law must treat us equally, no matter who we love." This was not just a legal victory, it was personal. Romero understood the importance of dignity, acceptance, and freedom. Under Romero's leadership, the ACLU grew stronger than ever. He raised record amounts of money to support its mission. He expanded its staff, opened new offices, and made the organization more diverse. He also pushed the ACLU to use technology and media to connect with young people. He understood that the fight for freedom was not only in the courts, but also in the hearts and minds of citizens. Of course, Romero's journey was not without criticism. Some accused the ACLU of being too political. Others said they went too far in defending people with unpopular or even hateful views. But Romero always returned to the same principle: the Constitution protects everyone, even those we disagree with. Freedom of speech means nothing if it only protects the speech we like. This was not always popular, but Romero believed that justice is not about popularity, it is about principle. Today, Anthony Romero is recognized as one of America's most important civil rights leaders. He took the ACLU through one of the most difficult times in American history, defended freedom when it was most at risk, and expanded rights for millions. From a poor boy in the Bronx to the leader of the ACLU, Romero's story is proof that no matter where you come from, you can rise to the top. His life teaches us that justice is worth fighting for, and that courage can change the world. This was the story of Anthony D. Romero, the immigrant son who became a defender of America's freedoms. His life reminds us that the fight for justice is never finished, and that ordinary people can do extraordinary things when they believe in what is right. Thank you for watching Little English Studio. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can discover more inspiring lives in simple English.